not tightening up. And what actually is quite difficult is in this concerto, there's some very odd hand positions that one has to actually do in order to be able to play all the pitches as required. And so I just want to be always prepared, and that I'm not haphazardly getting there, but I have a plan of getting there. I mean, these are all very little details that perhaps only people who actually play an instrument can understand, but we kind of sort of blow it up in our minds.
I know our time is limited, but I do want to ask you about your violin. Could you tell us just a little bit about your violin, because it's very special?
Yes, it's very special for me. I've had it now for about 12 years, and it's made in 1734 by Guarneri's do Gesù, made in Cremona in Italy. Guarneri's do Gesù actually was one of the most important violin makers alongside Stradivarius. Actually, they were from the same town and working around the same time. They both had a family of violin makers living under one roof. And well, it's interesting. In a popular sort of story goes that the Guarnerius do Gesù, to distinguish himself from other members of his family who are also violin makers, decided to call himself Guarneri's do Gesù after the, I believe it's a Jesuit order that he was a part of somehow, and you know, that's why we distinguish him and call him Guarneri's do Gesù rather than just Guarneri. And another popular story to go with that is that he actually ended up in jail for a while.
Really?
For someone, I don't know the reasons, and he actually made violins in jail in Cremona.
Do you know if he made your violin while he was in jail?
This I don't know, but actually my instrument actually also has a history. It belongs to a very important, very important violinist named Bronislaw Huberman. He was one of the founders of the Palestine Symphony, and which of course now became the Israel Philharmonic. And because of that, because he owned it at one point, now it's known as the ex-Huberman do Gesù.
I noticed that, and I actually didn't know the story behind that, so that's interesting to hear that. One more quick question is, I know that you're the chair of the string department at USC, and you have a lot of nonprofits, and you are obviously an internationally renowned concert violinist. So what do you do in your spare time?
Well, in my spare time, I actually always end up coming up with ideas, new ideas to do for after I go off vacation. For instance, I took 2 weeks off this past summer, and I had a wonderful time and just lots of time to think. And whenever I start thinking, I get ideas for new projects, and a couple of which have already gone into effect in my department at USC. And so we have a few more performing opportunities for our students as a result. I've been also thinking quite a lot about special projects that I would do for my 30th anniversary, which is 12-13 season. It's 30th anniversary of my debut. And different just ideas for community engagement and just various things, and maybe new recipes here and there of what I can cook, a different combination of things.
Wow. I feel so inadequate. My idea of a hobby is lying in my hammock reading a good book, you know. I think I need to be more dynamic in my life. I'm just so impressed with what you do, and I did get to hear, I just want to share with all of you that it's really fun to be backstage, because you get to hear the musicians talk in the bathroom. And I got to tell you how impressed everyone is with you, and not just with your playing, but the way you worked with the students yesterday. And I know that's something also that's very important to the Whatcom Symphony Orchestra, because they've been working with students in the community for many, many years now. And so on behalf of members of this community and orchestra members, I just want to thank you for that too, because when someone has talent, to pass that on to the next generation and to share that and to share your passion is, I think, one of the best things we can do. It's just a lasting legacy. So thank you very much for that.
trompet とうまくなかったね。So I'm sure that she can.